The secret of health of both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly. A very good evening to our guest of today's event, Ms. Dharani Mahalingam ma'am, our principal sir, Dr. Vipin Kumar Agarwal, NSS program officer, faculty coordinator, volunteers, and all other attendees who are here with us. This is our fourth event of Connect with Yourself Mental Health Fest Week. This is Adamya, and I will be hosting today's session on mindful doodling by Dharani Mahalingam ma'am, a session organized by We Heal project under NSS Sri Aurobindo College. We Heal is a project under NSS Sri Aurobindo College, which was incorporated in 2020. During this pandemic, India saw a massive rise in mental health cases, especially among the youth. Our leaders thought, why not do something about it? They discussed, deliberated, and came up with We Heal project with an aim to help people deal with mental health problems by spreading awareness about mental health, decode the myths, and organize various webinars, giving a platform to express one's feelings and to help an individual in whatever way they can. Before we proceed any further, we will start with our NSS song, like we always do. I request Juhi to play the NSS song.
उठे समाज के लिए उठे जगे स्वराष्ट्र के लिए जगे जगे स्वयं सजेव सुंदरा सवार दे स्वयं सजेव सुंदरा सवार दे हम उठे गजब हमारे संग साथियों तो सब बढ़ेंगे अपने आप साथियों जमीन पे आसमान को उतार दे जमीन पे आसमान को उतार दे स्वयं सजीव सुंदरा सवार दे स्वयं सजीव सुंदरा सवार दे को बांटते चले गांव और शहर की दूरियों को काटते चले ज्ञान को प्रचार दे प्रसार दे ज्ञान को प्रचार दे प्रसार दे स्वयं सजीव सुंदरा सवार दे स्वयं सजीव सुंदरा सवार दे शान ओढ़ती रहे धरा तरक्कियों की एक नई कतार दे तरक्कियों की एक नई कतार दे स्वयं सजीव सुंदरा सवार दे स्वयं सजीव सुंदरा सवार दे धर्म बोलियां बने रसूल राह की बढ़ाए बेल प्रेम की अखंडता की चाह की
Thank you, Juhi. Art is known to calm our minds and help to channel our energies into something beautiful. Mindful doodling is a creative exercise that enables us to live in the moment. In this interactive and do it along session, it will help you to explore the different doodle exercises that draw on emotions, thoughts, hopes, and sensory awareness, combining with the benefits of mindfulness and the intuitive expression of doodling. The session will help you relax, find focus, and creatively express your emotions through this spontaneous art making. As a result of this session, you will be able to explore your inner self and to understand yourself better. Before we start, make sure you have these items ready: black gel pen, notebook or A4 size sheets, and color pencils. I guess you all have these items. For guiding us today, we have with us Ms. Dharani Mahalingam ma'am, a counseling psychologist by profession and an artist from heart, assistant professor at PSG College of Arts and Science. She is NLP master practitioner and trainer. She is not only ardent but also passionate therapeutic clown who uses art-based activities in therapy and act as a facilitator in the field of expressive art therapy. She has conducted workshops for more than 6,000 people on mental health and expressive art therapy across India. She is a strong believer in the power of expression, who advocates the philosophy of creation, innovation, and finding a meaning in art. Promises a fulfilled journey with love and art for everyone around her. Now, as the session begins, I request all the attendees to switch the cameras if they can. And also, if you have any questions during this session, please post those on in the chat box. Please switch on your cameras. With this, I welcome you, ma'am. The stage is all yours. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Adamya. I hope you can hear me and I hope
Yes, ma'am. We all can
visible
hear you.
too. Perfect. Can Savi please start the screen presentation, screen sharing?
Sure, ma'am.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, good evening, everyone. Check. Perfect. I think there is an echo. Presenter, can we?
Ma'am, can you please check now?
Yes, I'll do that. I think it's still echoing. Okay, it's not echoing now. Perfect. Okay, it's echoing again. Check.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. I think it's okay now. Okay. Thank you so much, Juhi. It was nice hearing myself. It gives me a quick trial about how I'm talking. So everyone else, I see there are around 90 of you. A warm and good evening for all of you here. And I hope for the next 1 hour, I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to put you to sleep. And it is not going to be some usual lecture that you are attending throughout the lockdown. I promise it's going to be something different where you're going to connect with yourself. At the same time, you're going to let your inner child out. So for this, I'd want you to turn your video on so that I can see you and I can see you doing and I can see you talking. Because what happens is when the resource person is just talking to themselves, it's like Dora the Explorer. So when I keep talking to myself and I keep asking you questions and there is no response, what I do, I start answering my own questions. Then the Dora the Explorer is activated. Have you ever watched Dora the Explorer? In Cartoon Network, Dora will ask you questions. Where is this mountain? Where is my backpack? And after a second, she'll stare at you and then she'll only start telling the answers. So I really don't want to be Dora the Explorer. So I'd want all of you to turn your video on so that we could have an interactive session. This is one kind request from me before we go forward. Thank you so much, Savi. Okay, next slide. To give a quick introduction about me, Adamya had told really good things about me. So I'm a counseling psychologist by profession with 2+ years of experience. I have 1,800 hours of individual counseling session, and I use art-based therapy in my practice. I have a diploma in art therapy. I'm an NLP master practitioner and master trainer from the European community of NLP. I also train people in NLP and life coaching. I'm also a certified cognitive behavior therapist from the University of Toronto, Canada. So I use cognitive-based therapy predominantly in my training, individual counseling, and also in other aspects. Apart from this, I'm a therapeutic clown who uses humor, laughter, and play to deal and heal children. So my target population is children with pediatric oncology. I have written a paper about the therapeutic effects of clowning on children with pediatric cancer. So these are my credentials. Apart from this, I'm a very fun and loving person who loves to make memes, share memes, and send memes. So if you're a person who likes to watch memes or share memes, you can stay connected with me even after the session and send memes. And disclaimer, there are going to be a lot of memes in the session, so get prepared for it. Next slide. Next slide, Juhi. Okay, how do we all generally say yes, non-verbally, over the online media? How do you generally say yes? No, not the slide which states yes, no. The slide which has yes and no in it. How do you generally say yes, guys? If your mic is muted, how do you generally say yes? Do you want chocolates? You say yes like this. Do you want ice cream? Very fast. Do you want to eat bitter gourd? No, 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 no. Do you want to attend lecture and give a seminar? No, 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 no. Do you want to go around and hang out with friends? Yes, 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 yes. This is how you generally say yes and no, right? But today I have a task for you. And this task is you will have to do the opposite. If the answer is yes, you will have to say no. If the answer is yes, you'll have to say no. And you'll have to nod the head in the opposite direction. You'll have to say yes like this. You'll have to say no like this. Make sense? You'll have to say yes like this and no like this. If the answer is yes, you'll say no. If the answer is no, then you'll say yes. It's a very tricky thing that will keep you awake throughout the session. Every time when I ask you a question which has the answer yes and no, you're going to nod your head in the opposite direction and say the opposite answer. Yes, no? Did you all understood? Did you all understand? You say yes and no in the chat section. Okay, for those who are not able to unmute yourself, you can drop your answers in the chat section and I'd refer to them. And there is something positive to it. How many of you liked receiving stars when you were a child? How many of you liked getting stars? Whenever the teacher gave you we good, we good, and there is ice cream on the top of we good, and there is sunshine and sunrise on the top of we good. How many of you enjoyed getting this? Okay, there is one person who's raising their
We all
hand.
love ma'am.
Okay, few of you.
And ice cream is also complimentary.
You're right. Ice cream is complimentary, right? So today, throughout the session, if you're answering a question or if you're asking me a question which is sensible, you get a star. And how are you going to get a star? You're going to take a pen and give yourself a star in the wrist or in your notebook. If you give yourself a wrist, it's going to be even more easier because by the end of the session, you can go around in your house and tell your mom, your dad, you know what, I did the session, I got the stars, all the stars. And the person who gets the maximum number of stars by the end of the session will get a secret gift from me. Yes, no? Every time you ask a question or answer a question right, you get a star. And the person who gets the maximum number of stars by the end of the session will be awarded the superstar performer of the class. Perfect? Are we on the same page? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
The answer is yes, you say no. If the answer is no, you say yes. Okay. Next slide. Okay. There is a quick brain test for you. And there is a favorite meme which states the brain is the most important organ you have according to the brain. Bomb. Have you ever thought about it? Ever since you were in school, you always read the brain is the most important organ. And who says this, bro? Your brain says this. So let's check the capacity of your brain today. Next slide. I'm going to give you a quick 5 seconds. And I want you to count the number of red and blue objects. Your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. I think there was a problem with the, okay, previous slide. The presenter, we have a little delay with the presenting screen presentation. Okay, now tell me how many green objects you saw in the screen. How many green objects did you see?
We haven't focused on green objects, as you told about focus on blue and red.
Clear, but how many green objects did you see? The person who answers is correct will get 5 stars. Let's see who gets it right. How many green objects did you see? Chat section, you can drop your answer in the chat section. Adrika says 6. Wonderful. Anyone else? 5. Diksha says 5. Says 1. Ismat says 4. Shakshi says 0. Okay. Apurva says 7. Okay. Presenter, can we go to the last slide and check how many green objects are actually there? I think one person answered it right and you get 5 stars. Adrika. Okay, why is it you are not able to find the number of green objects? Because your brain was so focused on looking at the other objects. But what if I tell you the capacity of your brain to store things in 0.7 seconds is 1.5 billion? 1.5 billion. But still, we're not even able to be aware and be present in the moment. Imagine if that's a capacity, what is that we're putting into use? So today we are going to be talking about how is that you can awaken your subconscious mind and be present in the moment and live in the moment, which is mindfulness. Next slide. Can you see the picture and tell me what is the difference between the human and the dog? There is a huge difference between both their minds. What is it? How is it different? Can anyone unmute and answer, or you can drop your answer in the chat section. You'll get stars for answering.
Ma'am, the human has a lot of things to worry about, like finance, and it's thinking about the home, clothes, cars, and all. But the dog is only thinking about environment. He's happy in it.
Wonderful. Wonderful observation, Ismat. You get 3 stars for sharing this with us. Absolutely, right? There is a lot of things in the human's brain. There is music, there is socks, there is his girlfriend, there is his house, there is his car. But the dog is just here looking at the moment. Now, if I ask you, how many of you have a feeling that the moment you go to college or work, you're just spending 2 hours there and you feel like, man, I'm so tired. I want to go home. It's so irritating for me. And then it's all fine. The college got over, the work got go over. You come back home, and then you just lay in your bed for 1 hour, and then after a while you're feeling, I'm so exhausted. I'm so bored at doing nothing in home. I already want to go back to college. I want to go out. Have you ever been this feeling when you go to school, you want to go to home? When you go to home, you want to go back to school. And this is continuous loop, like you open WhatsApp, then you open Instagram, then you open Telegram, or then you open Bumble, you swipe right, and then left, and then you come back again. How many of you are in this loop? If your answer is yes, drop no in the chat section. Have you ever been in a situation where you're stuck in this loop of, I want to do this, but the moment you do this, I'm not able to enjoy it? Right? There are a few big yes. Diksha says a big yes, which means no. Right? And this is called as not being present in the moment. And this is called as your mind being full. Full. Your mind is full of thoughts and emotions and all the other things from the past, from the future, and we are never in the moment. So today we are going to be talking about how you can be mindful using a small, simple technique of just taking a pen and doing nothing. Next slide. Before we go, I want to teach you what mindfulness is so that you have a basic understanding about this. So there are a few texts here. It's just nothing but being present in the moment. There are a few moments in your life where you feel like, I'm living. I'm just finally here. It might be somewhere like 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, or somewhere where you are waiting in the parking lot of a car, or somewhere where you are in the laundry place doing your laundry. Just that moment feels surreal, or you're holding your loved one's hand, or you're getting a dream job or a dream house. That moment feels that I am living at the moment, I'm just here. How many of you have experienced this scenario? If the answer is yes, say no in the chat section, right? Things like this, having attention and awareness to the right moment is mindfulness. It's basically consciously directing all your awareness to the present moment. Even now, I think 98 of you are here in the session. I bet 106 are here in your session, and then your thought process somewhere too. Me, okay, is my hair okay? I'm not able to maximize my video. What am I doing? Like, am I talking correctly? Even though I am conveying a message to you over the session, I'm taking a session, there are still thoughts which is running in the back of my mind. Do you agree with me? Do you have thoughts like this which is running in the back of your mind incessantly 24/7? Okay. So the whole idea of mindfulness is not just ignoring all this, but calmly acknowledging and accepting our feelings. Okay, this is a thought, I'm gently going to pass it. Acknowledging all these thoughts and gently passing them and observing a body sensation is mindfulness. Clear? Did we understand what mindfulness is? Yes, no? Okay. Next slide. So before we go, brace yourself. There's a lot of activity coming. Prepare yourself. If you're holding your phone, rest it in a place. Take your notebook, open the fresh page, take a pen, the gel pen you have, and keep it in your hand and place it in the table and just lay back. Next slide. There are 3 rules for this. First is, I can't draw. How many of you here have this fear that I'm not a good drawer? You don't even use the word artist. It's like, I'm not a good drawer, man. I can't draw. Here is a small reminder for you. I want you to go back when you were 3 years old, 2 years old, when you took or held the pen or pencil for the first time, and you remember you ran around the entire house scribbling in almost every possible places. You scribbled in your wall, checkbook, phone directories, magazines, workbooks, dictionaries. You almost scribbled every little place that you could find. Can you imagine yourself doing it? Can you see your nephew or nieces doing that? Right? And eventually, when you grew up, you started drawing these mountains, and there is a sunrise in between the mountain, and there is a river coming from the mountain. There is a hut. There is a family stick figure of you, your parent, and your siblings. I remember my drawing. I always used to draw my brother separately because I hated him secretly because he ate all my snacks. Can you remember your artwork? Right? So I want you to remember that. Eventually, when you grew up, when you went to school and then you went to college and you started comparing your artwork with others, you're like, what is she drawing? What is that person drawing? My drawing is not as good as that person. Here, I don't want you to compare or judge yourself at any cost. At the same time, I want you to get back in touch with your 3-year-old self and draw. Are we on the same page? Can you pinky promise that you are going to get in touch with your inner self and let your inner child out? Yes, no? Perfect. Thank you. So now there is a quick story about a girl called Rosie. How many of you heard this poem? Chubby cheeks, rosy lips, blue eyes, curly hair, dimple chin. You all remember this? Okay, this particular girl, Rosie, is from this rhymes. Rosie loves to eat apples. She can eat apple any day, anytime. And Rosie is a single child raised by a single mother. Rosie's mother is below average maid and then who works almost all day and all time in order to raise Rosie. So one fine day, Rosie and her mother went to the market to get weekly groceries. At the end of the day, Rosie had turned to her mother and asked, "Ma, can you please get apple?" And Rosie's mother looked at her pocket and then she had money only to buy 2 apples. They could buy only 2 apples. So Rosie's mother got 2 apples and then they came back home. Rosie's mother was very tired. She left all the bags down in the hall and then Rosie was having both the apples in her hand. 1 apple in her right hand and 1 apple in her left hand. And now Rosie's mother goes like, "Kana, Mama is very hungry. Can you please give me 1 apple to Mama?" So Rosie is like now looking at her mother and the apple. Apple in her right hand, apple in her left hand, and her mother. It's a triangle scene like Karan Johar's movie. You can see the camera shifting from the apple to Rosie and to the mother. Apple, Rosie, and to the mother. And finally, after a moment, a brief pause, Rosie goes like, looks at the apple in her right hand, brings it closer to her mouth, and takes a fresh bite of the apple, making a sound katak. The apple is so crisp that she could feel the taste in her mouth. Then she goes with the apple in her left hand and she takes a crisp bite. Katak. This apple is also juicy. There is a nice crisp sound coming. And now, how is the mother going to feel? Because what happens usually when you bite and thing, you're marking your territory. Particularly with your siblings, when you have to tell them this is mine, you spit in it. Ooh, you spit in it or you lick in it. You agree with me? Have you ever done that? You either lick in it or you mark your territory by either licking it or spitting at it, right? But there is a twist. After a second, Rosie goes like, "Ma, eat the apple in my right hand. This is the sweetest apple." Rosie goes like, "Ma, eat the apple in my right hand. This is the sweetest apple." And Rosie's mother was shocked because for a moment, she judged her own child. Similarly, in life, we'd come across a lot of people and we'd never know what their intentions are unless until we act on it. So this is a reminder for you to not judge your own self at the same time to not judge people around you. Can you pinky promise again that you're not going to judge you while you're going to draw and as well as others who are going to draw? Yes, no? Yes, no? You can either unmute yourself and answer or drop your answer in the chat section. Perfect. No then. Thank you so much. Okay, to the next slide. I want all of you to close your eyes and calm yourself down with your notebook opened on the table, with your pen placed on the table. I want all of you to close your eyes. I want you to gently close your eyes. Get ready with your materials, keep them on the table. If you could turn your video on, it will be really glad and that would be amazing. Next slide. I want all of you to close your eyes and focus on your breathing. I want you to gently close your eyes and gently observe your breathing. Observe your belly expanding while you're breathing in and observe your belly contracting while you're breathing out. Gently focus on the breathing and imagine inhaling fresh, cold air and exhaling warm, hot air out of your body. Imagine all the good things getting inside your body while you're inhaling, and imagine exhaling all the toxic and all the bad things out of your body. And now, gently bring your awareness to the 5 things that is present in your room. Without opening your eyes, bring and focus on 5 things that is present in your room. Try to recall 5 things that is present in your room. Once you're done naming 5 things that is present in your room, focus and name 4 things that you can hear. Focus and name 4 things that you can hear. Now, pay attention to 3 things that you can feel. Pay attention to 3 things that you can feel. Example, the clothes that you are wearing, the surface that you are sitting in. Focus on 3 things that you can feel with your body. And now, focus on 2 things that you can smell. Focus on 2 things that you can smell and name them. Finally, focus on 1 thing that you could taste. Focus on 1 thing that you could taste. With your eyes closed, take the notebook in your table and feel the texture of the paper. With your eyes closed, feel the notebook and the paper, the texture of it, measure the size of it, and if possible, try to note the smell of it. Now gently reach out for the pen and hold the pen in your hand. Feel the texture of your pen and see how it feels between your fingers. With your eyes closed, see the texture of your pen and see how it feels. Now take a moment to express gratitude to every single person who was involved in making this pen and paper. Take a moment and express gratitude to every single person who was involved in making this pen and paper for you. And now, with your eyes closed, start drawing the room that you are present in. With your eyes closed, start drawing the room that you're present in. There is no right, there is no wrong. Remember, there is no judgments. You have pinky promised yourself. Start drawing the room that you're present in the paper with the help of your pen, with your eyes closed. Focus on the attention to the paper and to the pen. Stay with the feeling. Try to draw the room that you're present into the paper. Focus your attention to the paper. See how your pen moves in the paper, the flow of it. Try to gauge the feeling and stay in the moment and acknowledge all your senses. Once when you're done, you can gently open your eyes and let us know in the chat section.
Вы знали, что эта картинка не фото, а искусственная...
Can you gently open your eyes and share your work? Can you turn your video on so that we could see the work that you have made? Anyone? Are you done with this? Yes, no? If your answer is yes, you say no in the chat section. If your answer is no, you say yes in the chat section. Perfect. If you want to show your artwork with us, we'd be really grateful. Can anyone unmute and share what your experience was while you were drawing with your eyes closed? Because I hope this might be the first time that you're drawing with your eyes closed. Next slide. Can anyone kindly unmute and let us know how you felt while you were drawing with your eyes closed, focusing in the moment and being present with your awareness and primary senses? Can you let us know what is that you realized? Anyone? Okay, Gayatri's then stopped working in the middle, but you didn't know that, right? You continue to do the work, and that's a video of it. Okay, now let's go ahead and see what is the benefit of doing this. Next slide, please. So you learn how to analyze the object. Your analytical and observational skills increase while you're being in the moment and you're trying to be mindful. There's a very simple method of being mindful by just observing, by closing your eyes and drawing this thing. This can be a very good activity for you to do with your friends, your partner, or with your family at the dining table so that you're all being present in the moment and enjoying it together. Next slide. You not only improve your analytical skills, you also improve your abstraction skills. You're basically applying filter to your reality and boosting your creativity. Next slide. And you finally go back to the basics of drawing, scribbling, and connecting with your inner child. How many of you forgot to draw yourself in the drawing that you had made? How many of you forgot to draw yourself? Did you draw yourself? Because the room that you are present in includes you. Were you able to remember most of it? Okay. See, that's the beauty of it, right? Because the process is more important. How you felt while you're making this art is more important than what the end results are. There are two types of artwork, process art and product art. Product art is something when we look at the end, okay, masterpiece, but process art is something where we feel calm and better while we are doing it. So what you're doing right now is process art. Nobody is going to give you prize or marks for the artwork that we are going to make here. Basically, you're letting go of perfectionism is the next slide. Next slide. Basically, the next important thing is that you're letting go of perfectionism and you're learning to be non-judgmental and be in the moment. Clear? Next slide. So this is a quick activity to talk about mindfulness and how is it you can practice mindfulness in the moment with the help of doodling, a very simple activity. All you need is a pen, a pencil, or a gel pen, and just go ahead and draw. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat section. I'll try to answer them by the end of the session. Siyash says you draw yourself like a potato, but it's completely fine because the process is more important. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat section. Okay, next slide. Let's move on to the next activity of letting go. I want you to answer these questions. Yes and no in the chat section. Were you ever taught how to eat? Did anyone ever taught you how to eat, how to hold a fork, how to hold a spoon and feed yourself? If the answer is yes, you say no in the chat section. Have you ever been taught how to dress, tie shoelaces? Have you ever been taught how to walk? Have you ever been taught how to take care of yourself emotionally when you are dealing a failure? Have you ever been taught how to overcome a breakup? Have you ever been taught how to deal with anger? Unfortunately, most of us have not been taught this, right? I hope most of you agree with me, and there are a lot of answers in the chat section. Thank you so much. So now we are going to learn a quick technique of how to let go of the negative emotions, how to process these negative emotions without bombarding. Because the one best thing that we do when we're angry is slam the door or break things or throw things or hit the things at the wall. That's the only thing that we do while we're angry to show how angry that we are. Instead of doing all these things, regulating our emotions is something which is very good. And how we can regulate our emotions mindfully through art is what we are going to learn. I want you to take your pen, paper, color pencils, all the art materials that you have and get ready. Next slide. I want you to draw a bunch of balloons in this paper. I want you to draw those balloons as big as possible because you're going to write inside them. And these balloons can be in any shape. If you want these balloons to be in rectangle, square, hexagon, you can get as crazy as you want to in your creativity and draw a bunch of balloons in the paper. Next slide. Once when you're done drawing this bunch of balloons, I want you to think of feelings that has made you feel anxious or negative or upset in recent times, and I want you to fill them inside these balloons. Write them down. Things that have made you feel anxious, upset, or negative, which is making you feel heavy at the moment, write them down inside these balloons. This can be anything. And once when you're writing them down, I want you to give each color an emotion and color them. You can give any colors that you want to. You can fill these balloons with all the negative emotions that you want to let go of and fill them in. Excuse me. Once when you're done drawing these balloons and filling things inside the balloon, you can let me know in the chat section. Are you done? Yes, no? Perfect. Next slide. Once when you're done, I want you to imagine holding all these balloons in your hand, and I actually want you to stretch your hand out and hold these balloons. And these balloons is filled with helium gas, and all these balloons have your negative emotions, your anxious, overwhelming feelings, and all of them feel very heavy in your hand because you're holding all this bunch of balloons together in your hand. I want you to actually reach out, stretch your hand, and hold all these balloons in your hand. And then I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to gently let go of this balloons. I want you to gently release your hands and let go of these balloons. I want you to picture these balloons being big, huge, bright in color, and then gradually disappearing away, far away from you, and they eventually nowhere to be seen in the sky. I want you to look up in the sky and feel all the negative emotions, the emotions that are making you feel anxious and heavy, floating and letting away from you. I want you to picture these balloons getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and they get so small that you can hardly see them and will just disappear up into the sky. Once when you're done imagining, take a deep breath and open your eyes. Next slide. Next slide. This is a quick activity called as letting it go, and you can do this anytime whenever you're feeling anxious, stressed. You can also teach this activity to your friends, family members, to the children that who are in your home. This is a healthy coping mechanism which can use mindfulness, being at the moment, and art in order to regulate hard feelings, because we all have degrees, we all have certifications, multiple diploma courses, certificate courses, but we lack education in basic emotional management. So this particular technique is going to help you so much in that emotional management, and you can do this anytime and every time you're feeling anxious. Next slide. Now I'm going to teach you when is that you can basically use art whenever that you have a problem. Next slide. Can you press next? All you have to do is take a deep breath, use your imagination, and create something. This imagination can be anything, and this creation can be just ranging from drawing a straight line or scribbling or even just pouring paint or anything. Just take a pen or a color pencil and start doing anything that comes into your mind. And once when you're done doing that, ask yourself what meaning this particular art has to me at this point in my life. What is the message my subconscious trying to convey? What is the message behind this artwork? If I've scribbled so much, if I've used the color red, why have I used the color red? If I use the color blue, why have I used the color blue? And ask yourself these questions and start writing about these questions in the back of the paper. And finally, identify what is your overall feeling. So this is a tech that you can use anytime while you're waiting in the airport, while you're waiting for a friend, or you're in a restaurant, where you're feeling an overwhelming feeling, when you are going through a breakup, when you're feeling stressful because of the exam. It's a very simple technique of just taking a pen, paper, and writing it down and drawing it. Next slide. So finally, I want to end the session with my favorite quote: the healthiest form of projection is art, because we are not hurting anyone while we are letting off this emotion. We are also taking care of ourselves, because this is the healthiest way to deal with our negative emotions. Imagine shouting at others, yelling at others, or having a fight is something which is not good, which is going to further lead into trauma. But projecting our own emotion into art is the healthiest way to process it and regulate it. And also, being at the moment with the help of an art is a present that you can always give to yourself. Being in the present is a present that you can always give to yourself. So I hope you had a good time learning. I want at least one of you to quickly recall, next slide, to help me understand what is that you understood in the session. If you could take me through what is your personal understanding, I'd be really grateful. To help you with the recap, there is also a slide which is presented. If you could quickly recap whatever that you understood in your words, I think that would be wonderful. Anyone? Anyone who would want to recall? Okay, Dora the Explorer activated. First, we saw about the meaning of mindfulness. We saw what is being mindful and what is mindful. Then we did the mindful doodling activity of closing our eyes and drawing the room that we are present in. Then we did the second activity of learning to cope negative emotions, which is letting go without affecting anyone else. And finally, we learned how is it we can use art to be mindful and let go of things and be healthier. So these are the 4 things that we see predominantly today. I hope you had a good time. Next slide. Thank you so much. The participants, everybody stayed. We had around 120 participants today. Next slide. The last slide. I'm very happy that all of you stayed. And here's my Instagram account. It's there called VETTRIDAM. If you have any questions, any queries that you want to ask me, you can always reach out to me here. I also take individual counseling sessions, group counseling sessions, and other training programs. I'm an assistant professor at PSG College of Arts and Sciences Psychology. If you need any guidance in the field of psychology, also I'd be very glad to help you out. You can message me. I think this is it from my side. The floor is now open to questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll also drop my Instagram handle in the chat section for you to refer. Thank you so much. Organizers, over to you.
If anybody has any questions or queries, please post it on the chat box. Ismat will read the questions for you, ma'am. Over to you, Ismat.
Thank you, Adame. The first question is, how does doodling affect the brain?
Okay, doodling doesn't affect your brain. Doodling is something which is coordinated with your brain and helps you to think proactively. So there was a research which was conducted. A classroom was divided into 2 sections, A and B. So the A people were asked to doodle while they were listening to class, and the B group of people were not, were just listening to the class simply. By the end of the research, the group which doodle learned much faster and easier than the group which didn't learn. So doodling actually helps you to be present at the moment. It accelerates your learning process and also increases your neural connections with which the activity of your brain increases. This is how doodling helps your brain. It enhances your cognitive abilities.
The next question is, why do we doodle during our classes?
See, we all think that doodling is a mindless activity that we do. But in reality, doodling is a conscious activity that you are directing your conscious awareness into the moment by scribbling that into the paper. And that has a meaning which only you would know. You might be drawing circles. That circle has a meaning for you. The circles is not circle for me, but it has its own meaning to you. So doodling is not a meaningless activity while you're doing in class because it's a meaningful activity that has a connection with you. And that's the reason you doodle while you're listening to in class or while you're in phone, while you're talking, or you're sitting down in the ground, you're just drawing this in the sand, you're picking this up, you're constantly doing something with your fingers. It's like consciously directing your attention towards something is a form of expression that you're doing. You're communicating, but in a way that others can understand, but only you can understand. That's the best part about doodling, or that's the best part about art therapy. Nobody would be able to understand except for you. If someone had seen my family drawing, my brother's little away, but nobody would understand why I've drawn him little away. The only reason is that I'd only know that I hated him. That's the reason I drew him little apart. Right? So it's a very good thing to express your emotions. When you write a diary, everybody have an access to your diary. But when you draw, nobody has an access to understand what you have drawn there. Only you would know what you did, and only you would know what it means to you.
One of the attendees asking why, she wants to know why did including ourselves in the drawing was important.
See, the whole aim of being mindful is being at the moment, being at the present. If we forget ourselves, what is the point of remembering everything? If we are not recognizing, acknowledging our own self, when it comes to mindfulness, we'll have to acknowledge ourselves first, right? Only when we acknowledge and accept that we are here as a whole body, that's when the entire acceptance starts with accepting your feelings, accepting your oneness, accepting who you are, what you are, your perfections, your imperfections, your good things, your bad things. It's very important that we include ourselves. If you've not included yourself, then that's a huge, major sign that, bro, you need to put yourself first. You're forgetting yourself.
The next question is, I tend to draw a droplet every time I see a paper. Does that have any significance?
So it's, as I told, it's based on what is the connection that you have with droplet. I keep drawing spirals. For me, spiral is something which helps me moving forward in life. If you see signatures of people, no, my mother draws a signature and I have a signature wherein by the end of the signature it will go up like an aeroplane. For me, it's a feeling that I want to go up. But for someone else, why is this girl so stupid? She's drawing an arrow mark in a signature. Right? So it's based on what meaning that you attach with the droplet. I am not a magician or a Harry Potter wand to tell you, you drew this, you are this. Let me see your hand. You are this person, you need this, you will have this children. No, I can't do that. You will have association with your artwork. You would be the best person to tell me what is your association with the droplets. What is your recent or what is your memory with water droplet? Only then you have to figure out using introspection.
The next question is, how can doodling improve our creativity?
As I told, you are applying filter to reality. There's an image of chair in your head, but when you draw it in paper, there's a different image which is coming out. There is an image of chair. Okay, I know this is how chair looks, but when you draw, oh, this is how chair. Why this is this like this? So your creativity expands when you are. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
Your creativity expands when you are applying filter to the reality and using your own imagination to create. You're bringing up elements. Why should a chair always have 4 legs? Let my chair have 3 legs. So that's how creativity increases.
Ma'am, one of the attendee has asked, I keep writing while I feel anxious, and that mess literally turns out to be poetry. Is that a good sign?
Exactly. See, not everybody communicates through words. If you ask me how I'm feeling, most of the times I would not be able to success. Most of the times I would not be able to tell what I'm feeling. Someone would be good at writing their feeling. Someone would be good at drawing their feeling. Someone would be good at singing their feelings. If we think that talking is the only way that we express our emotions, then we are completely wrong. The way of us expressing emotions is million. Sometimes all you need for a communication with a best friend is a look. This look alone would teach you whether you need to take this or whether you need to date that guy or not need to date that guy. Just a look, a non-verbal sign, right? So similarly, you would know your emotions, emotional expression better. Sometimes it might be writing, sometimes it might be drawing. As I told, art is the healthiest form of projection, and these emotional expression can be anything. You should be really proud that you are able to write them down. Writing is a very good, healthy coping mechanism because that's the ultimate superior defense mechanism.
The next question is, does it allow our mind to replace negative thoughts or bored habits?
Bad habits? See, for
bored habits. No, ma'am. BORED. Bored habits.
Bored habits. See, the whole point of mindfulness is being in the moment and focusing in the present and not either the over exciting things or the bad things. Right. What is the point of being in the moment? When you're being in the moment, you're acknowledging here and now. You're living here and now. When you're living here and now, you're experiencing the moment to the fullest. While you're attending this webinar, you are giving your 100% and listening to me, looking at me, my non-verbals, how my hand is moving, how my mouth is moving, what am I trying to tell, what is the meaning that I'm trying to make here. So when you're being present, there is no boredom. So when boredom comes, when you're not being present, imagine 8 months ago when there was no lockdown, we were all sharing memes. Someone please kidnap me for 6 months vacation where I don't have to do anything for straight 6 months. But bro, when they actually gave you 7 months vacation of not doing anything, what you did, you complained again. I'm so bored at sitting at home. I can't watch TV. I can't move. I need to eat sugar cake. I need to eat honey cake. I need to go out, have KFC burger. We still complained, right? That's what happening. This mind is like monkey. It keeps creating scenarios and it keeps wanting this, that, but it never appreciates what's at the moment, and that's when gratitude comes into picture. You can be grateful and also be mindful at the same time.
Ma'am, one of the attendees asking, why sometimes are we so particular about something?
When you say something, what can you ask them to be more descriptive about the question? I didn't understand.
Maybe she wanted to ask, when sometimes we are particular about feeling something or thinking about something. Maybe that is what she meant to ask. Like we think about constantly a person, there is one person or one thing that we are really obsessed about. Maybe that is what she meant.
Then means that there is a meaning attached to it. If there is a thought process, there is a meaning attached to it. And the more you try not to think about it, the more you think about it. I'm telling you, Ismet and Savi, don't think about an apple which is purple in color. Don't you dare think about an apple which is purple in color. What did you do? You immediately created a picture of an apple which is purple in color in your mind. That's what your brain does. When you're telling yourself, don't think about your ex-boyfriend, he's moved on, you are moving on. Don't think about him, don't think about him when you're ending up in a Instagram profile. Already watching, what is he hearing? Who is this girl who is like this profile, like this picture? Right? The more you try not to think about it, the more you think about it because your brain is programmed in such a way. So you help your brain understand that it's okay if the thoughts come. What is it I can do next? How is it I can help myself better? If okay, if I think about my ex-boyfriend, if I okay, if I think about this thing particularly again and again and again, what is it I can do to get out of this? What is my next step? What is the after plan? Ask yourself counter questions and not don't do this, don't do that.
The next question is, how can someone overcome overthinking through doodling?
See, overcoming overthinking through doodling is mindfulness. That's the whole point of being at the moment. While you're being present at the moment, you're not overthinking. While you're trying to anchor your emotions, being at the moment, 5 grounding exercise, 5 things that you could see, 4 things that you could hear, 3 things that you could feel, 2 things that you could smell, 1 thing that you could taste. You're bringing all your senses to the here and now, to the activity. The moment there is a chain or loop of overthinking, stop yourself down wherever that you are. Go to a new place. I have this habit of going into a new cafe, closing my eyes and drawing that cafe. People there might think I'm stupid, but for me, I really enjoy the process of doing it because it helps me to calm myself down and focus in the moment, here and now.
The next question is, why do people often hurt themselves while they feel anxious or depressed?
Because we don't know what to do. Nobody taught us what to do. The one thing we learn from is movies. Most of the movies, what we saw, when people are hurt, they drink too much and then they go, that's what we see, and we used to do the same thing. When someone is going through a failure, what they do, they hurt themselves. That's what we see. We see behaviors and we repeat them. Nobody taught us how to let go of these emotions healthily, so we don't do it. So what you have to do is you have to go out there into the world and learn what are the healthy coping mechanism and how you can bring that into your life.
The next question is, how can doodling help us to reduce stress and anxiety?
You remember the last slide when I spoke about talking about your feelings, feeling about your unconscious whenever that you have a problem. So it's a very active tool because first it brings you to the moment, and second it gives you clarity. So whenever we have a problem, our eyes get flooded and we're not able to make decisions. At the same time, a friend might have the same problem. We'll give, bro, do this, do that, this solution, that solution, this friend, that friend. We are able to give rational, sound, clear decisions. But the same problem for us, we'll not be able to find solution. It's as simple as that. So while you're doodling or while you're making or drawing something, you're pausing. You're giving yourself a pause. You're not reacting from the overwhelming emotions, whereas you're just pausing yourself, letting yourself and giving yourself permission to go through that emotion and then reacting it. So that way it reduces a lot of your stress and anxiety, and also you're healthily channeling your negative emotions.
The next question is, sometimes at night, I find myself dance subconsciously in a dim light room. I do not know what it means. It relaxes me. Does it
Sometimes?
signify something?
Sorry, sometimes?
Sometimes
Okay,
I'll repeat.
this looks like something. This looks like something sleep. Some problem with sleep. So I suggest that you contact or you consult a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And I would not. This wouldn't be the right platform to give me suggestions to give you suggestions. I'd suggest that you consult a psychologist to get a clear picture about this. So I'd not be able to comment on it without having a clear picture.
The next question is, how to overcome sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming and why they happen.
That's a whole different chapter for 1 hour. Next workshop.
Okay, ma'am, the last question is there a particular thing that we need to draw, or do we just have to draw whatever comes to our mind?
Whatever that comes to your mind, there is no good, there is no wrong. Remember, there is no right, there is no wrong answer. No right, good drawing, no wrong drawing. Whatever that comes into your mind, you can go ahead and draw that.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering all our questions. Over to you, Adamya.
Once again, I'd be very glad if you could write in feedback to my Instagram account, or you can, if they have a feedback form, fill it. I'd want to know how you felt, because since most of you were very silent throughout the session, I would want to know how you felt. So if you could write to me, I'd be very glad. Thank you. Over to you, Adamya.
Greeting to our chief guest, respected principal sir, NSS program officer, faculty coordinator, NSS team, and all audience. It's my immense privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have made the event successful and marvelous as a memorable one. Today, I feel short of words to express my sincere gratitude on the behalf of our college and NSS unit. I would like to extend my warm greeting to our chief guest, Ms. Dharni Lingam, ma'am, who graced us with her knowledge and experience. The session was fun, amazing, and knowledgeable, with the full of learning. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being with us. Heartfelt thank goes to our NSS officer, Dr. Meenakshi Chaudhary, faculty coordinator, Dr. Mukesh Kumar, Dr. Neetu Dubedi, Dr. Kalpita Sonowal, Dr. Shima Kumari, Dr. Avnish Yadav, for their constant and exceptional guidance. Last but not the least, I thank all the attendees of today's event from other colleges, universities, and the whole NSS team. Once again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. Over to you, Adamya.
Thank you, Priyanshu. Now I want everyone to switch on their cameras for a group photograph. Is it done?
Wait a second.
Okay.
It's nice to see so many of you here. Finally turning your video on. I almost cried, guys, to turn your video on.
Is it done?
It's done.
Okay. Thank you everyone for attending this event. I hope you learned a lot. Now you all can leave the webinar.